good does it feel to get a win under your belt?
Feels great. Yeah, we needed one, obviously. And the way we did it, where we were fighting and had some adversity and fought through the adversity and fought back, and they tied the game a couple times, but we didn't break, and that's important.
This was the best night of Jabari's probably career to date, I would say. What did you like that you saw from him?
Yeah, I thought his shot selection was really good. I don't think he forced any shots. I thought defensively he did a good job playing the 5 and kind of manning our defense. And then obviously the big couple threes and the big free throws that he made down the stretch. I was happy with that.
Jabari's confidence can be something you have to get him to focus or deal with, but free throws and the game on the line, I imagine that's when he's the right guy for them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we were trying to get the ball into Jalen and Eric, but perfectly fine getting it to Jabari in that situation, even though he's a rookie. We knew he was going to make it.
Was my premise right about his confidence is something you need to have him know when he's right to be confident and when other?
Yeah, I think that's for most rookies. They don't have a good feel for that. So yeah, he needs to know when it's his time and when it's time for him to not necessarily defer, but make a play or do something else.
To your point about fighting down the stretch, I think those 3 guys, Green, Porter, and Smith, finished 18 of 18 from the line. How important is that to have them maintain that focus and develop, get points there for you?
It's huge, especially since we were 30th in the league in free throw shooting last year. So for us to do that in the fourth quarter speaks to their concentration, which we've been talking a lot about as a group, especially in the Memphis game. We lost our concentration. The Atlanta game, we lost our concentration. And tonight we didn't.
Utah's playing with a bunch of vets in crunch time. You talked about how they got the game tied multiple times. What did you think just about the composure that you showed?
I was happy with the composure. We executed for the most part. There were a couple loose possessions that we have to clean up for sure. We have to watch the film and make sure we clean those up. I was happy with Eric and his bounce back in the second half. He made some big drives and big plays. Obviously, Scoop was going and dancing and doing all this stuff, but was very efficient with it. And then Jalen, another efficient game for him. So, yeah, the fourth quarter is an important time, and obviously our defense wasn't as good as it should have been, giving up 35 points, but we scored 37, so we won.
Tari and Usman, I mean, they showed so much hustle. The entire team did, but there were so many plays where they were really showing hustle. Maybe it doesn't always show up in the stats, but how much does that mean when you see that?
It means a lot. Those guys play so hard that they play to exhaustion. So usually I'm trying to find a way to, make a sub, and for those guys, they play so hard, they're like, hey, it's time to get me. Yeah, we need that. We need that hard play because it permeates throughout the rest of the group, and we have to be a hard play team, like I've been saying all season, and those are 2 guys who do it.
Coach, you talked about this team's overcoming adversity. How much can a win like this actually help this team win more games moving forward?
Hopefully a lot. I mean, we don't want to make too much out of it, but we did a lot of good things in this game, just like we did a lot of good things in the 3 previous games. So it's more about the process, and the score will take care of itself, as they say.
What went into the lineup decision with KJ and Jabari next to each other?
Yeah, it was less about. I guess it was different from last game because of the Giannis factor, right? So I felt Moose needed to guard Giannis, where in this game it was a little less daunting at the 4 and 5. So playing a more standard lineup with Jabari at the 5. Hopefully Jabari can get some pick and pops and some trail jumpers like we saw with him at the 5 some. So I wanted to see it. But yeah, that was the thought that went into it.
How did you feel
He's
about
at
the
the five.
offense?
When he's at the 5, was he able to call out the stuff that you want a center to do and have some of those responsibilities, or?
We
not
did a
so?
lot of switching, so yeah, he did. But he hasn't played a lot of 5, so there was a lot of moments out there where he wasn't necessarily comfortable. So on both ends of the floor, so we got to get him there.
How did you feel about the offense generated by Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green in the second half when they were kind of staggered and separate from each other compared to the first half where they kind of mirrored each other?
Yeah, I was pretty intentional about making sure one of those guys was on the floor at the whole time in the second half, and they both kind of got going, and we needed that scoring punch from both of them to win the game. So yeah, like I guess you've asked me that a few times as far as playing together and then staggering. And first half we were there together, and second half we staggered.
Do you maybe need to stagger them when you don't have Alpi?
Possibly, yeah, because we don't have the offensive punch. That's maybe that was the reason that we did it, but it just felt like the right move to make in the second half today.
Do you hope to continue rolling out Jabari as that starting center, or do you expect to kind of shuffle to continue here?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Alpi will be back sooner than later, but yeah, it kind of remains to be seen. I was happy with what Ooze did, and he's earning minutes by the day.
How did you feel about Daishen Nix's performance tonight, even earning some late fourth quarter minutes while you were waiting to kind of get EG rested up and back in the game?
Yeah, that fourth quarter, it was tough substitution-wise because I had all those guys in, and I was kind of like cycling through to keep one in and take one out just so they could get a little blow and then come back in because I didn't want them to play the whole quarter. And Daishen was the one who kind of solidified it on both ends of the floor. He really made some good plays, and then he's so physical when he gets into the paint. He either makes a pass for somebody else or can finish. So I like him attacking from the sides of the floor, and he has a way of getting us organized as well.
How do you think Kevin has balanced kind of the responsibilities of trying to be a scorer with getting his teammates involved?
He's done a good job of it. There's some times where he will like get off the ball a little more than, not that I want, but that's warranted. He can have the ball a little bit more, but he is conscious of it, and that's a big step as far as being on the ball or being off the ball, and he's so effective doing both. He didn't shoot 3 as well as he's been shooting it tonight, but being off the ball allows him to get to those catch and shoots, which he's so good at.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.